what does my opinion matter to Paige and Azzi?
Well,
less
Nothing.
that's why it
Not
matters
that
to us.
Oh, thanks, guys.
All right, welcome to virtual Ep 17. We're in different locations just to like leave you wanting more before the season really gets going.
Switching things up.
Yeah, but there's not too many storylines going on, but we're just building up towards the season opener, which will be next week, which is crazy. But we do have a few updates and things we want to talk about. Following up from our AZ episode, Paige Bueckers made a statement, and we wanted to start with that. So let's jump in.
Who wants to give first thoughts?
I mean,
we're all pretty aligned. But
Yeah, we do all
No,
the same thoughts.
we've talked about this. I feel like Paige Bueckers is like a PR agent's dream client.
Masterpiece.
She's so good at media. Like she's like respectful, firm. You know where she stands. She leaves you wanting more. Like
She's like a PR dream and a journalist dream, because it's like it's not like she's giving a PR answer in a way that's like you don't get anything from it. Like she's somehow like really answering the question while also keeping it so the PR people will be happy.
She's answering the question, and she's also making it so that you're aware why, not that it's rude to ask the question, but she's telling you why you kind of shouldn't be asking it again, but not in a way that's disrespectful, just in a way that...
Or I feel like she's not telling you, like, why you shouldn't ask it, but why she's not going to answer. Which I feel like that's the difference between, like, what she did and what the PR person did. The PR person was like, we're not, like, you shouldn't ask that question. Paige was like, I understand that you have a job to do. I'm not going to answer it, though.
But I feel like as a journalist, too, like, her answer is something where I'm like, I respect it so much. Like, I'm like, like, very fair. Like, we both played our side of the game, and, like, you played it better than us. Like, you have outplayed us as you deserve. Like, you know.
And she's so nice with it, too.
Yeah. I know.
Hope you had a great break. Anyway, I won't be answering that, by the way, if you ask it in the future.
Yeah, I feel like we should almost say what she said, too.
Does anyone have the statement up? She said, quite frankly, I believe me and Azzi's personal relationship is nobody's business but our own, and what we choose to share is completely up to us. We've been doing this for a long time. We have countless reps at it, so we'll continue to use that experience to show up and be professionals, be great teammates, great leaders, the hardest workers. We continue to show up and do our job and help the Dallas Wings win basketball games. And she also said that, you know, if you ask this again, I'm just going to like refer back to this moment or like deflect to other teammates. And then she also added at the end, Azzi Fudd was the #1 draft pick because she earned it, and it had nothing to do with me and everything to do with who she is as a human being, who she is as a basketball player, her resilience, her strength, and her career best year at UConn. So, I mean, a pretty thorough, well thought out statement that didn't feel like she was reading off a piece of paper. Like, it felt like it was all from the dome. Clearly she thought like really hard about what she was going to say before.
Yeah, I think it also hit every conversation that everybody online was having in a very clear and respectful way, and just kind of, I don't know, shuts the conversation down and brings it back to basketball. And I think it's also what we were saying, where it's like, it's not going to stop people from speculating, but it's going to, like, I think, kind of control how it is filtered towards Paige and Azzi, which is maybe what's most important.
Because the journalists don't have, I mean, like, there's nothing else to ask at this point because she was so thorough with her statement, and I don't know, there's just nothing that you can really follow it up with. So I feel like going forward, I don't know, I can't imagine what a journalist would ask after hearing that statement.
I know, I feel like the only thing, and we talked about this a little bit, the only thing that I feel like it left to be desired, or it left me thinking about, was that Azzi still is not a part of this in like a certain to a certain extent. And I just, not that she has to, but I feel like, I think, Catherine, you said this yesterday. It's not that we want her to say something because she has to say something. As someone who really likes Azzi, I want her to say something because I feel like it is in her best interest to like have agency in this situation and like speak about herself in a way that feels empowering to her. And like, listen, I don't know, I'm like kind of operating under the assumption that the PR thing that happened at her press conference happened because she said that she didn't want to talk about it, and so then the PR people said that they would handle it. There's just something about that kind of feels lackluster to me.
It feels unplanned, and it's what you said. I think it just benefits her, and it cuts off the storyline that she's in Dallas or was drafted because Paige had some sort of a say. I think it stops that dead in its tracks if she speaks for herself. And it even though everything Paige said was great, it is a little bit like, oh, does Paige, I mean, I don't think this, but I think once again, the general public will run with narratives. It's a little bit like, does Paige have to fight these battles for her? And
Right.
so, yeah, it's not because I need to hear her, like, I want the tea on if they're dating or not.
Right.
It's like, no, just like defend yourself and your own statement and your own privacy. And then I think that will also set the tone of that there's not much left to ask about the situation.
Yeah. I kind of want to hear her be like, I appreciate your question. I'm not going to answer it because I don't really feel like talking about my personal life. This is me as a professional, like operating as a professional in a professional setting. So I just don't want to talk about my personal life in this setting. But I appreciate the question. That's not what, like, I just want to hear her do that. I feel like it is within her best interest to do that. But I mean, if she doesn't want to, then she doesn't want to. And, you know, that's for her to decide.
It does make you wonder if that was the Wings taking the lead on it or her. It's
I know, I can't tell because I'm sure they've discussed it beforehand. And then then for the Paige statement, like clearly they were cooking on it. But I'm like, did they, after seeing how that went, kind of I don't know, just had to switch it up.
But then it's awkward to be like, oh, like, Paige, you can talk about it, but, like, Azzi, you can't. Like, you know, obviously that's not the case, but I feel like, the one thing I would have changed is, like, obviously Paige was going to be asked about it as well, but it would have been so much better if Azzi was the next person that was asked about it so that we could see if she was going to speak on it again or not.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be like a personal choice for her because I'm like, she has so many. She has like a podcast. She has like a lot of opportunities.
Right. This is kind of where I'm coming down on it too.
She like clearly doesn't want to, which is like obviously fun. Like if she's gonna do whatever she wants to do.
But don't you think if you were her, like I don't think I would go on my pod and talk about it. I feel like I would wait until I was asked again.
Yeah, because like no one who's gonna refer to the pod.
And it's also like that defeats the whole purpose of not wanting to talk about it.
Yeah, that's
right.
Like, being like,
but
if
I
I'm
feel like
I'll address.
But that's kind of why I feel like it's not like she's like evading public life. You know what I mean? I think that's why I'm kind of like,
right, like she is a celebrity.
Yeah,
and celebrity status in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and also like she is like a big part of a multi-million-dollar organization. That's why she's like, that's why this is in the public interest.
Top cases, I would say it's like Paige and her. I mean, and Freerike, of course.
Freerike, of course. But so I think that's like the only thing to me that is still missing in this. And I don't obviously like my opinion. What does my opinion matter to Paige and Azzi?
Well,
less
nothing.
That's why it matters to us.
Oh, thanks, guys. That was beautiful right there.
Yeah, that's the cold open.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, they don't need to listen to me.
But it's gonna come up again. That's the thing. Like, it's gonna come up again.
There's nothing they can do to stop it from coming up. Whether they can stop it from coming up at a press conference, they cannot stop it from coming up on the internet.
I'm also just so curious. Like, the season is so long. We have so many, like, practices with them ahead, games with them ahead, travel days with them ahead, all-star like there's gonna be so many sightings of them together, whether it's in a romantic way or as teammates. So like there's unfortunately gonna probably be a lot more opportunities where they are addressed about it, you know.
That's almost why I'm kind of like, we all know that they're together. Like, they announced it themselves. So that's why I'm confused at this, like, we're not going to talk about what everybody knows approach. It's like, I don't know other couples in the league that do that. Like, Joanna Bonner and AT enter together, they leave together. Sometimes they do together, sometimes they don't.
Of a successful teammate relationship where, like, I mean, obviously, like, Joanna Bonner and AT are a different generation of basketball, I would argue, like,
they have a different amount of eyes on
media.
that. Yeah, like, people aren't as, like, obsessed with them as I feel like.
I feel like with Paige, like, with AZ, but especially Paige, like, bringing in so many new faces to the league, there's, like, an added amount of pressure, and they're growing up in the age of social media, but I am just, like, we don't, I want to be like, we don't care, but I'm like, oh, like, we don't care.
Right.
A lot of other people deeply care.
Clearly, some people care.
Yeah.
Some people care a little bit too much, okay?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, do people care more because you're, like, trying so desperately to, like, be like, well, like, we're not dating, you know?
I feel like it's something that they're clearly navigating as they go, even though, like Paige said, they've been doing it for a long time. It's like you're in a new space, you're in a professional league, and it's just, and the eyes on the W are, like, just growing and growing. And so you're still, like, navigating things. Like, it's not like you know how to do this. So I feel like we'll just see them kind of, like, do it at their own, like, pace, and, like, maybe they'll, I mean, there hasn't even been, like, their first preseason game is today, the day we're filming it. So it's like, who knows? Like, we don't know if they're going to walk in and, like, who cares, obviously. But yeah, it's just, like, I don't know, fandom gone wild.
I'm just like, oh my God, are they going to walk in together? Not to indulge it, but.
I know.
You just said that, and I was like, I hadn't even considered that yet.
Yeah, like, do they live together? Now I'm being a bad journalist.
I know. Now we're getting trapped by the
we're fanning the flames.
Exactly. I need to calm down.
I mean, but yeah, I just feel like it's their first season, both in the league. Like they'll do whatever.
They also are, like, older for their age to get drafted. Like, but I'm also like, you're still babies, like, figuring it out. I don't know. So
they'll be fine.
Either way, we know that
and one of these days they're
gonna be great.
And
so
once
we
that
know that
starts,
that's all. Yeah, I think once the season starts and, like,
that'll take up a lot more room.
I agree. I hope.
Yeah.
For them and for everybody.
When there are no games going on, it's really, like, a whole lot of there's, like, everything and nothing to talk about.
I think that's true.
So I think, like, this discourse is like this right now. It's, like, floating to the top of everything because we have nothing to watch. So all we're doing is watching people interact with each other.
Yeah.
Once the, like, season starts, it's not going to be
all speculation and all, like, interpersonal dynamics that we can go off of like, how's the team gelling? What does it look like? So, and we won't know until everything starts. And they also just no team has spent that much time together. Every team is looking so different right now, too. Yeah. So
it's true.
It'll be interesting to see. In other exciting preseason news, Lucy spent a day with the Chicago Sky for their media day. Our journalist. So
journalist.
Give us a rundown of
I know. I just got here straight from
I know.
It's
all hot off the presses. Like, I haven't heard any of this yet.
It's like all fresh in my mind, and at the same time, there's so much information in my mind. So hopefully, I am concise with it.
Takeaways.
But okay, media day, Chicago media day was today, the day we're filming this, and basically, I think everybody on the team spoke. I'm pretty sure, and Jeff and Tyler Marsh. So. Let me think. What are my biggest takeaways? Like, you can clearly tell I just came straight from it. My biggest takeaways Everybody was super, super excited. I feel like I wasn't there last year, obviously, so I don't know what the vibes were, but I feel like there was like this energy of like something is brewing, like something new, something super excited. We're all like locked in a way. I mean, this is what they were saying, so it's like I don't know, but like they're all locked in a way that maybe they weren't before. I mean, also there's so many new people like that weren't there last season. Like it's just a fully new team. So I don't know. I think they're still trying to. Obviously, they've only been there for like a week or 2 weeks. Someone asked someone a question, and I don't remember who it was. It was like, well, I've only been here a week. I'm like, that's true. So they've only been there a week, but it seems like the locker room vibes are good. And a lot of them, like every single, Skylar Diggins was like one of the first people to talk. And then after her, like every single person that came through when they were asked about like the culture or like what's kind of like motivating you guys, a lot of people would point to Skylar as being kind of like a vocal leader, and
unsurprising.
Yeah,
that's what
vocal,
we were
but
saying.
Also a lot of them were talking about how she just kind of by example, just like kind of coming in and bringing an intensity every day. Like a lot of people described her as like intense in some way, and we're kind of saying that it makes everybody else do the same, which is like I guess it seemed like it was exciting to them.
She's a leader for sure.
She's definitely, it was like, yeah, clearly. And then also Courtney Vandersloot was also there.
Really?
Her and Azrae did theirs together, and obviously they're both injured.
Did she have to say about her role and like her recovery and stuff?
Let me log into my notes real quick so I can be accurate. But let's see, Courtney Vandersloot. They talked a lot about how they're both being present in the locker room and like talking from the bench because even though they're not there, like they're both injured right now. So it's like, how do you kind of build chemistry with the team when you're not like physically on the court with them? And so they've just described like kind of being present.
Sloot is such a leader. 2021.
So yeah,
champ.
You have like her, and
with
her and Azrae too, like being on that team and like kind of coming in and wanting to like bring back that type of culture. She said she finally feels like a basketball player again with her ACL.
Oh, wow.
Did anybody ask her about like expected return?
I think was it Jeff? Yeah, the GM was like, we're not gonna tell you the timeline, but she did say that she feels like I will be playing basketball this season. I feel like I'm in a really good spot. She said that she feels really good, but she doesn't want to accelerate like the timeline and like before she's ready. So she's just like really listening to her doctors. She described her and Skylar as a two-headed snake. And they're gonna share,
as in they're like the two leaders.
I guess. Like she was kind of talking about like being in that same type of position and like both being playmakers, and like kind of sharing a position. But she was kind of talking about how like, because they are both like leaders, so maybe it's like people are like, oh, if you have two people of those like Skylar plus Vandersloot like in the same role. I
feel like they're balanced leaders though in their vibes.
Yeah, a little yin and yang action.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like it's very yin and yang.
Yeah.
I feel like they're both very like you remember when we were talking about Natasha Cloud? Like I guess it was like last episode, like she's such a significant role player, but she does that through like setting up literally everything that happens on the court. That's how I think about Vandersloot as well.
Totally, like a glue player, but also like they're a starter, but they're making things happen for like the bigger star players.
So I mean, I don't know when she'll like exactly be back, but it sounds like she's making good strides. And then let's see, speaking of injuries, Dejanay was there. She wheeled in on her thing, but she said she's in a boot. She was like, I think she said don't be fooled. She was like, guys, like she just got the hardware taken out, but she was like, so I'm back in the boot. And like, but she said she doesn't have a timeline that she's gonna publicize. So I'm like, so you have one in here? But she said she doesn't have one that she's gonna publicize for her return. But she feels great.
I love them all. Like Dejanay rolling up in a boot, being like, "Don't worry, guys, don't worry."
She was like, well, she said it was up to her. She'd be out there. But
of course,
it's I believe that.
She was like, it's a comforting feeling knowing that I have like just a couple weeks to go still. So I'm like, that kind of is a timeline.
Whoa.
If you accidentally said that, I don't know.
I feel like once you get the hardware out, it sounds long, but it's actually not that
right.
long.
Like I think it's just kind of like, I don't know,
recovering from the soreness
yeah.
and like just getting yourself back to full strength and getting yourself back up to like full playing speed.
Yeah. And they also talked about like how they had a preseason game yesterday. Dream injuries came back.
Yes. Which was a rough game.
Yeah. But they seemed pretty like, I don't know. Obviously it's not their like first, it's like the second unit, right? Like coming in and like I think they were kind of happy with what they were seeing. Maybe in terms of like intensity and just like, I don't know, kind of, I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a hard comparison to make because the Dream, even though they've like added Angel, for example, to the roster, like there's a lot of consistency there. Like they've been playing together for a long time. So I don't think that any of them like expected to like, well, I would be surprised if any of them expected to like blow them out or anything or like beat them. But I think like it's just being able to, I mean, they lost by less than 10.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
they lost to the Mercury by like 4.
Right.
I was being like, look, it's not that bad.
So, but I'm just like, for like what, their second preseason game?
Second.
Yeah.
Yeah. For like a brand new group, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And obviously, like, a lot of their main players are like injured.
No, like Skylar
didn't play.
Yesterday.
She didn't play. Like,
yeah.
Azure and Vandersloot aren't playing. But Azure, like, speaking of like Angel's return, like I don't know how much it had to do with Angel's return, but like they said the arena was, I think Azure said it was on fire. Like she just said the environment was so much fun, and it felt like 2021, which is like when they won the championship. So I was like, that's kind of exciting. Like a lot of them talked about like just the excitement around this team and like being here in Chicago.
I do feel like people here love women's basketball.
That's what, I don't remember which one who was saying it, but they were saying that like just like the culture here and like the basketball culture, like I think it was Skylar that was like, hope everyone's gonna pull up to these games, and she was I think it was her that was talking about just like one of the reasons why she wanted to come to Chicago. It's like close to her family, like where she's from, but also just like the culture of Chicago in general and like being a part of that. So they all seemed pretty excited.
That's so cool.
I know.
What did Gabriella
I want to know. Oh,
sorry.
Gabriella Jaquez, honestly, she had a short one, but I think she was mostly kind of talking about, you know, she was asked about like the adjustment coming in, especially because there's such like a quick turnaround. I mean, I think it was Tyler Marsh that was talking about like how it's like difficult to come in like so quickly and like then be in this league that has like a different level of physicality and pace. But he spoke highly of her, and like how she was kind of adjusting to that.
Also, like when you win the national championship, like you think about how many extra games of basketball you played. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that was mostly what she talked about. It wasn't like super crazy. She was like, I have a lot of belief in the team, and I think she's had like 12 minutes in the last game and scored like 4 points or something. So I mean, she's not playing like big minutes in the preseason games, but I don't know. She said she hasn't really gotten to any spots in Chicago yet. If that's breaking news, like
we need to drop some recs.
It's only been 3 days.
Yeah, someone called her, or they said don't call her Gabby. So that's a PSA. Never call her Gabby. Only Gabs or Gabriella.
Good to know.
We knew that. Of course.
I am really curious about Haley Van Lith. Because she had a pretty big game. I think it was their first preseason game. She shot like 100% from the field or something.
Yeah, the only thing she missed was one free throw, which I'm like, I know she went home and
Would she drop like 17 points or more? Was it more?
It was like 20 points. Right. No, 17 points.
Yeah, in like 20 minutes.
Crazy.
Yeah, 17 points in 20 minutes. 8 for 8 from the field.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. She talked about how like this season, like last season was her rookie season, so there's like kind of like what Gabrielle was talking about, like this adjustment period, and you're kind of trying to learn like a new pace, and just kind of become, I don't know, accustomed to this new, like everything that comes with being in a new league. So she said now she feels like she can have fun this season and like kind of lean into that side of it. And like she said, consistency is a big focus area for her growth because she was talking, I think like, it's one thing to have like a really great game like she did with that crazy stat line that Sydney was just talking about. And then like, but can you like maintain it and like do it again and again and again? So she said consistency is like one of the big focus areas for her. And she also said, understanding like the long game of a W season, which is like knowing that there's a balance between like taking every game seriously, but also knowing that you need to like be prepared, not like
to lose.
And also just like I don't know if she meant like in terms of like her body and like, or if it's like a mental thing, but just like being able to kind of like, I guess like take it one game at a time, but also know that you have so much longer to go, so you need to like just prepare for that. Yeah,
I feel like I've heard some sort of sense of moderation, I guess.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've heard Sue Bird talk about this, where she was like, when I first got to the W, it was so weird to like come from such a winning culture at UConn and like go undefeated for like 4 years, and then like you're in the W and you drop a game and your teammates are like, so like where are we gonna get dinner after this, so it's like a little bit like, it is like you want to win and compete, but it also is like your job and you have to play the long game and like make sure that you're maintaining your health and your mental health and so I think it is
that makes a lot of sense.
Rakia, she was fun. She did hers with Camilla, and they were like laughing it up there. I was like, "Oh,
dude!"
It was like a cute, like there's clearly like
that's awesome
happening. Yeah,
that's so sweet.
And I don't know. I think they talked a lot, like her and just everybody was asked a lot about the like developmental spots, and they were all super, happy about that, and just like because there's a lot of injuries. We saw last year there's like an insane amount of injuries, and so like when you have to like call someone up who's like just like in some random place and like
not ready.
Yeah,
like,
not ready.
They stay ready, but you don't know if the call is coming.
So she was just saying it's better for everything, like the product on the floor, like the product that you're giving to the fans when you're calling up someone who knows like the plays and who's been there and just like knows the team also. So they were all pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
I don't know who haven't I talked about. Rachel Bannum.
Pulling up with Skylar. You said that they were like besties. Yeah,
they were. I forgot that they played on Unrivaled together. So they were close. They had a good, like, fun little vibe going between them. I mean, Skylar said Rachel's one of the reasons why she came to the Sky.
Word.
Which, like, okay.
I'm gonna say it. I am really curious about Rachel Bannum's journey because before last season, I had never heard of her before.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can lock into this season.
Yeah, I know. I think I need to do like an investigative deep dive on.
She was fun.
Her journey.
She had a good like personality vibe. She said this year is gonna be fun because, in her words, she said we have 2 Hall of Fame point guards. Crazy. And so she can just run the floor and shoot a bunch of threes, like she said. She said, "I can be Steph Curry."
Can you imagine?
Is what she said.
Sorry, but
I do think like last year, she got a lot of like there was a lot of chatter about her because she was not playing well at point guard, and I think she was just playing out of position.
She was, bro.
So
she was also kind of just launching threes.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it'll be interesting to see how she plays this year with like a proper point guard around
her. Yeah, definitely. I also feel the same way, not that this person was launching threes, but I feel similarly about like Camila Cardoso, and I've just been like waiting for her to have her breakout W season, and I really hope this is it because she was just so fun to watch at South Carolina.
I think it was either Tyler Marsh who was saying that like he's seen her grow a lot, but he knows she has so much growth that she can do. So it seemed like that was like a big focus for him.
Yeah.
Here.
I can only imagine how high her ceiling is. Like she's just so. Oh my god! Like literally high because she's so tall.
She's so tall, literally 6'7".
Wait, they said in the press conference. I was like,
She also just like I do think she needs a coach that like really believes in her and is gonna push her because I feel like that's what Dawn did.
He was like she needs like me to believe in her and like she needs to believe in herself. And
Yeah,
like, that was kind of a
because she kind of is like a gentle giant. Like she's so tall, but like she has a fire inside of her. Like she definitely does. There was that one like
I know what you're talking about.
She got kicked out of the game.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
but. So there's a fire, but I just mean in terms of like
that was with LSU, right? It was like low-key a brawl.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't a Brazil game. It was LSU. But I also think she might have gotten ejected during a Brazil game as well.
Maybe.
So it's in her. But yeah, it's just about like her having that confidence in herself.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. I don't know. Another thing Rachel's talked about was like Skylar's like presence in the locker room, but like also knowing that she'll be like really tough on them, and she was saying that that's something that they need. So I think, I don't know, her locker room presence.
Yeah.
I wish I could look with two eyes, but like they all seemed like excited. Everybody mentioned it like at some point, like her being in the locker room and like
she's the leader,
being a lead. Everyone really pointed to her. A lot of the like younger players also where it was cute. They were like, we grew up watching Skylar, so it was kind of I think I forget which one of them said it.
I feel like this team has a good balance of vets and young faces.
I agree.
To do
it's
something.
kind of exactly what you want. I feel like sometimes I feel like that's at least last year with like Indiana. That's kind of how they were able to like break through and like actually make noise. Is that they like added those vets that could kind of like mentor.
They added DB, which that didn't work out. But like, and they added Natasha Howard, Sid Colson. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, seems like it's pretty exciting times there. Again, like it's only been a couple weeks, but it seems like everything's. It seems like they're excited about it, which is always good. I mean, again, it's so early and the season hasn't started, but
you want them to be showing.
You want them to be excited to be here.
Yeah, they're talking about.
I want them to be excited to be here because I want something good to watch.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they definitely have like playoff runs in mind, and of course, like if you look at who's on their team, it's like
I know.
Of course, people need to, So we'll see. It was exciting.
Next time we'll be just mere days away from the season opener.
What day is the season opener? Like
May 8th or 9th.
Okay. Exciting. Yay. So exciting. Okay.
And we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Maybe with a special guest.
Oh, maybe. Okay. It's Rachel Banham.
It's Rachel Banham. Okay, bye.